Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Two of Wands. This is your belief that you are capable of doing something, right? This is a card of dominion. This is a card of saying, I can do this. That I've identified what I need to do, and now I'm realizing that I have to do it. I'm capable of doing it. I have what it takes to do it. This is kind of like taking ownership, right? This is taking responsibility. This is kind of getting fired up and saying, there's no time to wait. I'm doing this now, right? Sometimes in this card, there's the idea of a clash. There are these two wills that are sort of, battling it out. What is stopping you from moving forward with something? Okay, sometimes this card is like a big red X, a big kind of stop sign, a big no, And so it makes me wonder if you are getting fired up about something and you're ready to push forward, why haven't you yet? Like, what is stopping you from doing something? Okay, so let's put this card into a little bit of context and see where you're taking this very, very confident and assertive. I mean, this is Mars and Aries, right? This is very assertive, this card. Okay, we've got the Leo energy. We've got a Prince of Wands, so maybe there is nothing stopping you. We have a Four of Wands. Okay, we have the Death card behind us, the Seven of Cups above us, and a Knight of Cups in front of us. I don't think anything is stopping you. I feel like, if anything, you were stuck in the mud and you're saying, gosh darn it, I'm not being stuck anymore. I'm going. And I'm going to win. I'm going to do it. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to follow this passion. This is a really interesting result. I wasn't expecting that to be the result, okay? Here we have a Nine of Wands, but a Seven of Swords. We've got a Magician, but an Eight of Cups, okay? So I feel like there is this yes, but kind of energy going on with you, that you feel fired up, ready to go, but we're kind of also, with the Seven of Wands, we're kind of doubting a little bit. We're getting some pushback from the world around us. Maybe there's some criticism in your life from other people. I feel like there's a passion that you're trying to follow in life. There's something that you're getting fired up and you're going to do it despite the obstacles, despite the difficulty. You're getting yourself out of this swamp that you're in. Okay, the Seven of Cups up top here is kind of like saying you love yourself enough to not put up with it, to not stand still, to not just acquiesce and say, that's it, I give up. You love yourself enough not to quit. Okay, and I think that we realize that the stagnation is really what is, it's unwanted. It's a toxic kind of energy for you. So this started with a transformation. I think that this is your process of transformation. Okay, you're following what feels right in your heart. You're following your passion here, not your logic, not the intuition even really. You're following your passion. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it over here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments, okay? Now, as we look around the room, we see two majors, right? The Death card and the Magician. So the Death card, letting go, right? Realizing that some things have to fall away. We have to shed our old self. Sometimes this is saying like, my old self is dead. Sometimes we have to die to our previous life, right? Sometimes it's shedding that skin. It's the transformation. We're stepping out of a shell kind of thing, like a cicada that's emerging from their exoskeleton. Kind of saying like the old life is done and I am on this path of transformation. Sometimes this is saying the past is behind me and I'm not looking back. My old self, not gonna go back to becoming that person again. I'm never gonna do that again, right? And I feel like we're trying not to really to have that kind of like absolute kind of vibe here, but with this Death card, we're realizing that things have to continue moving forward. We cannot go back. Who we were is not going to be who we're becoming. Okay. And of course, the Magician is the one that is realizing the power of creation. Okay, so I feel like we've got this process of letting go of the past, transforming out of our old self, stepping through, shedding a skin, however you want to look at that. It's kind of like this is the process of kind of a negation of something, and then the Magician is the process of the creation. Okay, so something has gone out of your life, and now we're trying to bring in the new. Okay, it's not enough to just sort of clear the soil, clear the field, and prepare the dirt. You got to plant the seeds. You got to grow the life that you really do want, right? Otherwise, it's like we've gotten rid of things in our life. I've kind of died to my old self in a way. And now I need to figure out in a positive way what I want to cultivate. Who do I want to become? What type of person am I evolving into, right? And of course we have fire, lots of fire here. We've got lots of water too. We got a little bit of air. We don't have any earth energy because this is an internal transformation. Kind of saying, who do I want to become? Well, I think to do that, to plant those seeds, you have to be you have to follow your passion. You have to follow what really makes you feel that way, right? Makes you feel connected, makes you feel like you are living your authentic life. This is the Knight of Cups has their heart kind of out in front of them and one is following it, right? Using it as a compass, but also giving it to the world. What makes you feel connected? This card's about the giving and receiving of love. It's about an exchange like that, a power kind of exchange, right? So I feel like it's very important that you keep the momentum going in your life right now. And you keep following your heart. Use your heart as your compass, okay? Now, between this one, these two, the Two of Wands, it may have felt as if there was a stop. It's kind of like we went through something in the past. We've shed that skin. We've said goodbye. We've grieved and released something. We've stepped out of the shell, out of the old skin. We've said goodbye to our previous life, our previous self. And there may have been a pause after that. And that's maybe where we're getting that kind of, the big red X, the stop sign. Maybe it's to pause and to acknowledge how far we've come already. Okay, and that would be this kind of scenario here, that we had this transformation, we stopped, and maybe we're thinking, okay, there's a cycle that's ending, but I know that I can't just stay put. This is not the end of the path. Right? So then we have this fixed fire energy, the Prince of Wands, that's saying, let's get a move on. And maybe we had to turn back to kind of say a few words over the past, but now it's time to hit the road, Because the longer we linger here, the more we're going to kind of sink into this place, and we're going to end up getting stuck. Okay, that the Seven of Cups is, to me, the realization that something isn't isn't what we thought it was. Okay, the death card back here might really be you broke up with somebody, you left a job, you had to let your old kind of these old parts of yourself go. Maybe it was literally a kind of cleansing or a purging, emotional purging, something along those lines. But the Seven of Cups now becomes your ability to see those things. You have, it's like you got a new pair of glasses on, where you can see things for what they really are. Okay, and so you can see when things are good for you or not good for you. Because usually the Seven of Cups is masquerading as a very positive card. It looks like, oh, it's beautiful. There's all these shiny things up in the clouds for us, right? You can see the truth. You can see what it really is. I feel like you got a new pair of eyes, right? Or a new pair of glasses that is allowing you to see things for what they really are, I think, into yourself, but also in your relationships and the people around you. And that's part of our Seven of Swords over here, right? 7 and 7. So I think there's a connection there for sure, right? The Four of Wands underneath the surface, a little Venus and Aries action, kind of saying that we're not going to stop until we've arrived somewhere. We're not going to stop on the side of the road and just say, well, that's where I'm going to stay. No, we're going to continue on this journey until we reach a milestone. We reach the motel or something, right? The next sort of waypoint on our journey. This is a card that says we are creating our life in a way that from our kind of highest, our highest aspiration or desire, this is the card that I tend to look at as we're redecorating our lives, And I feel like we're kind of redecorating our inner life as well. And both of these cards are Venus, right? This is unhealthy desires. These are desires for a better life. These are desires to keep the wheel moving forward, right? This is sometimes a desire to go back, right? A desire to go backwards. This is a desire to go forward. And I feel like we're trying to plant the seeds in our life and get on a new and healthy cycle. We're trying to, maybe develop healthy habits, right? Getting rid of unhealthy habits, and we are trying to get the ball rolling on very positive and healthy things, healthy relationships, healthy habits, good foundational practices in our life, right? I think that you are understanding the power of your attention. What you shine a light on in your life is going to grow. Okay? Well, sometimes we shine a light on the negative stuff, and that helps it shrink. Shine a light on these passions. Shine a light on give something your attention, and these things are going to grow and expand. Okay? I feel like we're kind of getting off the old cycle. We're getting on a new cycle where you're shining your light on things that feel good and feel right for you, feel healthy, feel wholesome. You feel passionate about these things. Giving these things your attention is going to make your life better. Giving these kinds of things your attention is going to make your life feel worse. And now you can see those things very readily. All right. Now, Path of the Serpent. We've got our 9 of Wands. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. I think you're moving forward toward a life that is full of more love and passion. More harmonious exchanges of energy, okay? With people, with places, with things, with all sorts of stuff, all right? Well, this card is primarily about the giving and receiving of love and affection. And this is in your immediate future, okay? So I feel like it's self-love, but it's also how we express love. And the 9 of Wands, is your strength. This is kind of our backbone. This is your resilience. This is your connection with purpose that's allowing you to have the stamina and the strength. This is sheer willpower. And I feel like right now you are fired up. Like I feel like you have almost an iron willpower. And iron, yeah, because we've got Mars in Aries with this 2 of Wands. You do have this iron willpower. And the iron willpower needs a purpose. It needs a direction to go. And when you have that direction and you shine your flashlight in that direction, everything else becomes dim except for that. And you're expanding on that. and you're getting closer and closer and closer to that, and your field of vision is sort of expanding on that, in that future, right? So in that sense, the Knight of Cups is becoming a vision of the future, right? This card's asking us, what kind of emotional life do we want to live, right? All of the Knights really are looking at the future. This one's seeing a 10 of Cups. What is your 10 of Cups out there? What are we looking at? That's our destination. Shine a light on that. Go toward that. Okay? It's not about the physical life. It's not the color of the wallpaper or the furniture. It's what does it feel like? I don't know what my life's going to look like, but I know what I want it to feel like. And that's what I'm paying attention to, and that's what I'm cultivating. Okay? And when you identify that, it gives you this strength, this stamina, and a real resilience right now. Okay? The Seven of Swords in the environment, I feel like you're still dealing with some drama from people. I think that there are people in your life that are trying to kind of criticize you or trying to change your mind. Sometimes this card is like something's out there trying to change you, right? Because you're on this central path with this Ace of Swords, but there are these other little swords that keep kind of coming in. It's going to be self-doubt, but it's coming from your environment. So there's somebody in your life that is, I don't know, maybe in a sort of subtle way trying to gaslight you, in a subtle way trying to manipulate you, or because of their own fears, worries, and concerns, they don't want you to have this kind of power and go your own way. All right. So there's somebody there. I don't know who they might be, to be honest with you. It may be that in a particular way we're worried about what the world's going to think of us. Okay? When we're following our heart, following our passion, and living this way and going toward that emotional future that we want, our best emotional life, we may feel as if there's going to be some criticism. Maybe we haven't experienced this yet, but we're anticipating it. And that kind of inner critic or self-doubt is going to prevent us from really becoming the magician. The magician can create any kind of life we want. Any kind of life you want, you can create it. But you have to know where to focus your will. You got to know what to look at, what to pay attention to. And as you pay attention to the life you want, the life you had gets dim. It's kind of like the flashlight. Whatever you point the flashlight at, it gets brighter. Everything else is still dark. Okay? And the magician is the one who knows how to use the power of our attention, the power of our mind, power of our thoughts. What you think about, you will become. Where your energy goes, right? That's the kind of, where your attention goes, that's where your energy flows. Yeah. And so the magician is one that knows how to channel that spiritual force and fire, that creative energy, the attention, the consciousness, the will. Okay? And so this is, it's necessary for you to believe that you are a creator, for you to acknowledge this creative power, this force and fire in you. And remember, really, not even to become, but to remember that you're the magician. And you can change your life. Here's the Eight of Cups. Changing our life from a glass half full, right, to a full glass. Yeah? Or from a glass that's half empty to a full glass. However you're looking at it. Okay? To me, this feels like this is us trying to repair, trying to fix, trying to make something better. We're trying to take what we have and make a 9 of Cups out of it. Right? This is an 8, we want the 9. So I feel like we're doing the work. We're realizing that our magic is going to heal these cups, restore these cups, and fill them with water. To me, it feels like a restoration. It's not going backwards, it's going forward. And to go forward, we have to look at, it's kind of like we're looking at we're looking at our yard and we're thinking, okay, you know what, I got to clear out the weeds, I got to get the soil going, I got to plant the flowers, or it's a car, we're restoring this old car. We finally opened up the garage and we looked at it and we said, okay, you know what, I got to just take it as it is. This is what I have to work with. And the magician's very good at that. The magician can take any set of ingredients and make a masterpiece out of it, right? We take our life as we find it right now, and we don't think, well, it was better if I would have just done it a year ago, or my life better who I was back then, maybe. No, we say, this is my life now. This is what I have to work with, and I'm confident that I'm going to make this the best life ever. You know, and in any moment, we have to do that. And we can have that moment right now where we just say, this is exactly how my life is right at this moment. These are the materials that I have to work with. And I'm going to make the best life out of this. Okay? And that's the power of the magician, the ability to take the elements that are there and create whatever kind of life it is that you want to create. Let's look at that mystery card. I mean, that'd be cool if it was the 9 of Cups, right? If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, right? So we're peeling away all of these other little tiny swords and we're left with clarity. This is the power of that spotlight, the flashlight, right? You're shining it on your goals and you don't see all the doubts. You don't see the other criticism. You don't care what other people think or what they're doing. You're shining your light straight ahead. Okay, so this is that clarity where our mind is not burdened by self-doubt or inner criticism or outer criticism or the expectation of criticism. It doesn't matter. You're following your heart. Your mind is clear. You have no doubts. We've removed those doubts. The magician is the magician. Doesn't care if other people like it or not, or doesn't care what other people's opinions are necessarily. So this to me is showing a clarity of mind. There's still noise going on all around you, but this is the idea that even in a loud, obnoxious kind of concert, I can still like focus and concentrate my thoughts on something, you know? And it's very hard to do that when there's so much noise going on around you. It's very hard to concentrate. This is your ability to do that. You're clearing away all the noise. You're turning it down. You're dimming the light that's being shined on those. You're able to control your attention, control your thoughts. And that is definitely a skill of the magician. So I think you've got this. You know, you've got to keep going ahead toward what you want, the kind of life that you want to have. Yeah. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's going to be an I Ching hexagram. There's going to be some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Virgo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you want to watch the extended readings at the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com. You can also find me on Patreon. Be sure to subscribe to my wife's channel. She does tea leaf readings over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.